Hello, Rob McNeilly here again, and welcome to day 8 of the free 4-week program, Connecting with Solutions in Hypnosis. So far we've explored what is hypnosis. We've talked about focus, absorption, that we're going to call hypnosis. We've explored the wonderful benefit that happens when we ask someone what they like to do and refine that about what it is about that they like. And we've played with asking, what is it that you want to work on here today? What's the problem that you want to do something about? And what is it about the problem that is particularly troubling you still? Today we want to explore a spectacular question, one of the most wonderful questions I've ever come across. And I mentioned this in day 2's video. In a medical approach, in a problem-solving approach, we ask what's wrong that we can fix. In this approach, we are going to explore what's missing for each individual client, that if they had it, they'd be okay. Now, sometimes when we ask a client what the problem is about their problem, say someone has had a trauma and they're getting flashbacks, some people will say, I wish I could just get it out of my head. I wish I could just forget it. And so from that, it might be apparent that what's missing is forgetting. Some people have a trauma and they get a kind of a fuzzy vagueness about it, and what's missing is remembering. Some people have a trauma and what's missing is going to sleep. So what's missing is going to sleep. So when we find out with each individual client what is missing for them, then of course, if we know what's missing, if we know what we're looking for, well, it's going to make it ever so much more likely that we're going to be able to find it in the therapy session, that we can find it, and most importantly, that the client can find it. So sometimes having the question, what's missing in the background, that question is answered without us needing to ask it. I just want to feel happy. I just want to feel cheerful. I just want to feel better about myself. I just want to be able to go to sleep, and so on. Sometimes it's not clear, and it can be helpful to ask the question, what is missing that if you could connect with it, you'd be okay? Now, usually when we ask this question, clients don't have a ready answer because they're so busy thinking about what's wrong that needs fixing. So just the question, what's missing, presupposes that there is something missing that is potentially able to be found, and already this helps to move things towards a solution. And sometimes when we say, so what is missing that if you had it, you'd be okay? And a client would say, oh, if only I could da-da-da, whatever. That's what's missing. Then we know what we're going to look for. Sometimes it's not apparent. Sometimes it's not clear to a client what's missing. So there may be another way of phrasing the question so that they can have access to a useful answer. And I found that sometimes if I say, now, if you were going to a supermarket and there was just everything there and you could just say, oh, if I can have that. If you could just have that, if you could have anything, and if you could have it, you'd be okay. What would that be? Some people are able to respond in a more concrete way when we say, just take that. Another way of finding and getting some clarity about what's missing is to ask the Steve DeShaze's miracle question. If a miracle happened and while you're asleep tonight, the problem disappeared and you wake up in the morning, and because it happened in your sleep, you wouldn't know how it went, but it's gone. So you wake up and the problem's gone. Got no problem. There's a solution there. What's happening? And whatever is present after the miracle will be what's missing before. We can say, when you no longer need to come and see me, when you've resolved this, when this is in the past, What's going to be different for you in the future when this has happened? And if we listen to what is present in the future when this has been resolved, that'll give us a clue about what's missing in the present, which has this be a problem. So have a play with the question. This is the exercise for today. When you're working with a client, have the question, what's missing in the background of your awareness, and see if something emerges spontaneously. Or if it doesn't, find a way of exploring with the client what is missing for them, that if they had it, they'd be okay. So that's today's exercise. And please leave a comment below about what you discovered, about what was useful, or send me an email privately. Thanks for being with this program, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.